I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very
back room.
dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Yo, what's up, everybody? Hope you all had a nice Tuesday night. Because I didn't. I lost every single bet I placed. I think I went 0-5. It might even. I think technically it was 0-6 because I bet Oklahoma twice. Oh my God, tonight sucked, man. Yeah, rough Tuesday night for me. Hope you all did better than that. I also lost all 4 of my picks in the league too. So in the betting league, I'm off to a shitty start this week. Yeah, rough one. Let's put it in the past for the love of God, and let's talk about Wednesday night.
Don't ever bring it up again.
Nebraska on the road at Penn State is where we'll start. I want to fade both of these teams if I'm being honest. I guess Penn
Take
State.
the under then.
Well, you like the under?
No, I said if you want to fade them both, you just take the under.
Yeah, but then
Like
I don't know.
30,
I don't buy into that because that's also betting on their defenses.
True.
I guess Penn State. I don't freaking know. Do you guys have anything you like here?
If I wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin right now, I would love Nebraska. But at the same, I mean, like, what? How does this line make sense? Penn State is absolutely terrible. That feels like
Nebraska's not good.
Nebraska's not good. Okay, I agree with that. But they've also won like 6 of their last 7 games. So they're by far the better team than Penn State, and they're catching points at home. Penn State's already burnt me at home multiple times this year. They stink. It would be Nebraska or pass for me. I'm so sketched out by this line. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, and the last 2 times I've thought the lines didn't make sense, I've got my teeth kicked in. So there's no point in me going any further.
Soto said he would bet this if he wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. Trev, break the tie.
Yeah, we got Penn State losers of 7 straight, and what's that? Let me do some quick math. 5, 11 of their last 12. They're laying points. Nebraska just came back from like 22 down against Northwestern on the road. Now they're gonna go to Penn State, who is awful. This feels similar to Colorado the other day. I think Nebraska exerted a shit ton of effort to come back and win that game. Nebraska desperately needs this game though, so don't get that twisted. They need it, but and we've also have a line flip. Nebraska was 1.5. Now they're catching points, so. I'm going to fade my own system here. I'm going to take Penn State. I haven't bet it yet, but this line feels eerily similar to Colorado on Saturday.
100%.
So.
I agree with that 100%.
Eerily similar, he said.
Eerily.
Next
and that was Colorado was freer than free.
We were just talking about this game before I clicked go live. So Sorber's out for Georgetown.
It's the first thing he says.
Yeah, so guys, I just got off the phone with my sources. Sorber is out. Sorber's out. Is Georgetown still laying despite Sorber being out?
I don't think it's official yet.
The way you said it before, sounded pretty official. You weren't speculating. You were like, guys, Sorber's out. That's what you said. You didn't say, I think Sorber's out.
I just put $175 on Providence plus 3.5, Trevor. Are you telling me you're full of shit?
What? No. I don't think it's officially announced.
I'm giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard
time. No, I don't think that's officially out. It's questionable right now, but I did just Google it, and apparently Ed Cooley is mourning the loss of his mother, Jane, but will be on the sidelines on Wednesday night. So I guess there's that also to deal with. So they're going to be without the best player. Coach's mom died, but
add on coach's mom dead bump. She's Angels in the outfield.
Is the coach mom's passing a positive or like?
I don't.
You think that could be like it could be like a rallying thing?
Exactly. It's tough. You never that's awful, but Prov up.
You guys have a weird thing for Providence.
Dude, I love this Providence team.
I love everything about Providence. I love that it's a small town. It's like everything about it. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard not to like this Providence basketball team.
Town.
Did you see the
small state? I don't think Providence is that small of a town.
It's in Rhode Island, isn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't mean the town's small.
Like that big.
Yeah, the state is small. It doesn't mean. I think Providence.
Yes.
I don't think it's a small town, dude.
You know what? I'm gonna look now because now you're pissing me.
No, I mean it's not huge, but it is a city. Like, isn't it the capital?
Did you guys? I think so. Did you guys see the Ed Cooley documentary about from the Providence guy? Okay.
DePaul Blue Demon. Oh my God, that guy is amazing.
That
and there's
guy,
like 170, 180,000 people in Providence. That's small. That's smaller than Anchorage.
I'll put Georgetown up. I'm not betting this game, especially with inconsistent injury updates we're getting here from Trev.
No. It's
right before we went live. I'm not making a joke or like he said, guys, Sorber's out. Then we go live, and I say, all right, Georgetown, Providence, Sorber's out. And Trev goes, well, it's not confirmed yet.
No. Yeah, it's not confirmed, but this guy has not treated us wrong yet this year.
I was going to say, keep in mind, Trevor's been our Georgetown whisperer for a while now. So I don't think he's got one of these wrong yet.
All right, it's not confirmed, guys. Vanderbilt, Kentucky. Kentucky laying 5.5. I don't know.
For me, I'll be Kentucky team total over for me. I understand that what's his face, Butler and Jackson Robinson are going to be out, but we still have Colby Brea and we still have Andrew Carr in the lineup, and that's all I really need to know. Not to mention the fact that Andrew Carr hasn't been himself the last few games. It's only a matter of time before he gets going. I think that I'm a little bit scared off this line at 5.5, but it's at 6 now. Probably going to be 6.5 by the time we wake up in the morning. I think I trust Kentucky to score. I don't want to deal with their defense. And the fact that Vanderbilt's coming off Auburn and Tennessee, I don't really love for them either. But I think that people are going to see that Kentucky's shorthanded and slam Vanderbilt. Maybe they cover, maybe they don't, but I think Kentucky scores. This number's, even with those guys out, I think Trevor would agree, this number is criminally low for their team total, not the spread.
Grabenz also says he's on the over here. Bill Seibert says he's on Kentucky. Revenge game for the Cats, says Bob Clayton. Vanderbilt beat them?
Yep. In Nashville or wherever the
When
hell
was
they
that? Why do I not remember that game? Vanderbilt beat
January 25th, 74-69 Vandy.
January. All right, Trev, what do you like here?
Team total over for me for Kentucky. Toes pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. Kentucky hasn't hit this number in 3 games. And last game they hit 72 on the road without Lamont and Jackson, and they put up 78, and they only shot 6 of 24 from 3. So again, they didn't hit their 14 threes number, so they didn't lose the game. You hate to see it, or didn't win the game. You hate to see it, but this 5.5 number is disgusting. I think this is going to be like an 88-83 kind of game, somewhere around there. If I had to pick a side, Vanderbilt, but I like the Kentucky team total over just to prove to people I'm not a full-blown hater. I will back Kentucky every once in a while, and I like this spot. I think we're getting a deflated line because of no Jackson or Butler, but Kobe Brea was awful last game. I think he comes out hot. The team couldn't shoot, and they still put up 78, so I will take the over.
I'll put Vanderbilt up for me. I'm not mad at this one. People in the comments are saying Kentucky. Shriek. Oh, shit. Shriek in a basketball stream? I never see him out.
Isn't he in Germany, too? Shout out to him.
Yeah, it's like 5 a.m. No, but usually he's in on the baseball handicapping. You don't see him much in the basketball season. Rodfather's on Vanderbilt. I'll say Vandy. Kentucky's shorthanded. Nobody wants to bet on this Vanderbilt team right now. They've lost 4 of their last 5.
I will say Vanderbilt on the road also gives up points. 81 to Tennessee. They gave up 86 to Florida, 97 to Oklahoma, and 103 to Alabama in their last 4 road games. So they're not immune to giving up points, especially when you allow a team to shoot 41% from 3.
This has got to be SMU here, right? I mean, SMU coming off such a disgusting performance. They were laying a big number to Wake, got their asses beat. Now the market has completely corrected itself and overreacted, if you will, because now they're basically in a pick 'em with Notre Dame. You mean to tell me this team was laying 7 to Wake Forest and is now a pick 'em with Notre Dame? That's called an overcorrection, right?
I've already bet Notre Dame, but I mean, I suck. So what do I know? So I mean, what am I supposed to say? Like, I mean, but yeah, you just had Shrewsbury absolutely destroy his team in the media after getting. I mean, I don't even think they really got embarrassed by Louisville. And the only reason I say that is because Louisville's beaten teams like this by 15. Everybody they play, so I don't really put. Again, most teams lose to Louisville by 15. So, is Notre Dame good? Absolutely not. But I think this line is a little bit telling to me. You have SMU with one of their biggest games of their schedule coming up against Clemson. Yeah, I just don't really like the spot for them. So I did bet Notre Dame plus 1.5. I'm sure I'll lose.
In the comments, we got Grabens on Notre Dame. King Judah's on Notre Dame. Matthew Moffitt is on Notre Dame. Sports scientist Jacob, finally somebody taking SMU with me. We're polling over 70% SMU. So there's a lot of you watching that clicked SMU in the poll, but you're not speaking up in the comments.
Yeah, speak up.
They're ashamed.
Forever hold your peace.
They're ashamed of their SMU bet.
Yeah, I like Notre Dame here too.
What?
Really?
Notre Dame will have the best player on the floor, Marcus Burton, and that won't even be close. No, buddy, get ready to learn Marcus Burton tomorrow.
Buddy.
Yeah, and Shrewsbury just eviscerated, the community essentially for not showing up to these games and just leaving them high and dry and letting Louisville come in there and take over the spot. They played pretty well for about 25, 30 minutes, and then it just spiraled out of control. Louisville started hitting everything, but SMU also, Boopy Miller did not play last game, and Johan Traore did not play. Traore, not as much of a big deal, but no Boopy Miller. That's their point guard. Does a lot defensively for him and offensively. So I think this line's kind of insinuating that he's not going to play tomorrow too. And I think this will probably flip once the news officially comes out. If he is out, I think this will probably close like Notre Dame -1 or something like that.
So it's funny that you said that because I was just watching like 10 minutes ago an Andy Enfield press conference before I made Notre Dame plus 2.5. And he was talking about how disappointed he was not being able to play against Wake Forest because that's who we went to play. And he didn't immediately sound like he was going to be back soon. So again, I think the line reflects that as well. But again, listening from what Enfield said, I don't think he's going to play tomorrow either. He didn't seem very confident, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah, so despite Jimmy Burton, what is his name?
Marcus Burton.
I'm still down to bet SMU. Rodfather says he's laying the alt line 3.5 with SMU plus 110. I like it, Rod. He's a pistol, that Rodfather. He's a pistol.
Rod, let's calm down, okay?
Rod, just relax. All right, St. Joe's, George Washington. Do you gentlemen have any interest in St. Joe's, George Washington? Isn't George Washington really good?
They've slipped a little bit. But
I guess not if they're catching points at home. But.
I think I'm not even talking shit. I think you're thinking of George Mason, who's the best in their conference.
Yeah. Mixed up my Georges.
No, I know. That's why I said I wasn't trying to talk shit. I kind of lean St. Joe's here. They're coming off of kind of a loss that maybe regardless they lost the game, but I think they probably should have won that game. And now they face a George Washington team off of a really nice win against, I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me pull it up. Against Davidson on the road. And now they got to come back home and play a much better team against a much better team in St. Joseph's. And anytime that they've stepped up in competitions, the George Masons, the VCUs, that's the only ones, George Mason and VCU, those are the only ones that are decent. But yeah, they haven't looked good in those spots. So I would take St. Joe's here on the road.
I'm siding with Cybert in the comments. He says George Washington wins, the wrong team's favored.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I like George Washington too. Now, a little caveat: St. Joe's is the A10 Butler for me, so we'll see how this goes tomorrow. But I like George Washington.
I feel confident still. Then I guess.
Yeah, it works out for you.
Yeah.
I still like George Washington. They crash the glass on both ends of the floor. They do have a little turnover issue, but they force turnovers, and St. Joe's not a heavy turnover forcing team. So I think that'll be fine. They're at home. St. Joe's off a brutal George Mason game. George Washington has UMass on deck, so not really a big thing. This is their biggest game left on the season too. So I think they get up for this. I think this line's just kind of disgusting. I feel like it should probably be St. Joe's like -2.5, 3 or something.
Really?
Yeah, St. Joe's is the better team. So
by far, they win this game, that puts them at 8-6 in the conference. If Loyola Chicago or Dayton loses a game or two, that bolts them up into 3rd, 4th place. I mean, that's St. Joe's has something to play for.
Rodfather's in the comments. He's saying bet against Billy Lang in away or neutral games on the money line against good ball handling teams. Teams that commit 14 or less turnovers a game after 15 plus games into the season. Lang's record as coach of St. Joseph's in such instances 7-30.
Hate to see it.
Do hate to see that.
Can we talk about a real team? Let's talk IU Indy.
Hell yeah!
I should have known you were going to put this on here.
I saw it. I was like, this game is definitely going to be on the list tonight.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't gloss over IU Indy. Catching points. I mean, the market's disrespect of IU Indy is just crazy.
I would agree with that, unfortunately. I hate that I'm agreeing with you on this little rant of yours with IU Indy, but I completely agree.
I mean, the market gets so held up on X's and O's, right? And it's just there's more to a basketball team than that. And if you watch this IU Indy team play, you know that they're built differently. I'll never forget that game that what they did for me a few weeks back. I'm assuming that they're not very good right now, like on paper, considering they're getting points from Detroit Mercy, but I don't care. IU Indy +1.5. We're polling at 70% Detroit Mercy. Oh my god!
What?
You guys are all fading IU Indy. Have you watched the game?
No. What are we doing? I mean, Trevor, are we crazy? Like, I don't even understand. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, Detroit Mercy's going to have the two best players on the floor without a doubt. Like Legend Geeter, which first off, absolute awesome name, Legend Geeter. And then Orlando Lovejoy, another awesome name.
That's another name too, is Lovejoy.
Yeah.
Trevor's about to take Detroit Mercy on this show.
Oh, he is. I can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have the best two players, but I don't think they should be laying points to anyone. I'm going to take IU Indy with you. I'm not sure if I'll bet it, but, it's just a situation where, if Detroit Mercy was catching points, I'd do that, but they should never be laying points to anyone. I think IU Indy has showed a little bit of heart. Detroit started off hot this year, and then they kind of flared out to end the season here. So I will take IU Indy with you, I suppose. I'll probably have to bet this game.
I know Toast is on IU Indy.
Oh, yeah, that's not even a question for me. It's one of those situations where, like matter of fact, Trevor just said it. Detroit Mercy's laying points against anybody. It's not even, no way, no how.
Tinker goes, I said, well, you guys are all fading IU Indy about the poll, and he goes, no, Kyle, they're fading your arrogance. It's not arrogance, it's pride, Tinker. NC State, North Carolina. UNC laying 10.5 just looks crazy. I realize NC State is most definitely not the team from last year, but North Carolina -10.5. Tell me that's just not wild. I didn't know that it was possible for North Carolina to lay 10.5 points to another ACC program. I didn't even think that could happen, but here we are.
I mean, it was bigger. It was, I think, 12.5 to start, or 11.5. It's down to 9.5 in some spots. The last time I checked. So it continues to go down. I don't know how you not bet NC State if you're trying to bet this game. Again, Kyle just pretty much said it, and I'll say my catch line. In what world is North Carolina a 10-point favorite against anybody in not even in the ACC in the country at this point? I mean, to the teams that they play. So, I've already bet NC State. I'm ready for some pain here. I do think that this line is kind of fishy considering how bad that North Carolina has been, but I mean, I guess North Carolina State has been just as bad. I mean, if not worse. So they did have a nice win against our Boston College their last time out. But yeah, I mean, that's nothing special. But yeah, I just don't understand how you can lay so many points with North Carolina personally.
Yeah, I'll put up NC State, but I'm not going to bet it either. Or no, you said you did bet it. What number did you get, Toast?
12.
I mean, why'd you say it like that? It's a good number.
Because I get 3 points of CLV in 60% of my plays, and 97% of those 60% lose. So I could care less that I got 3 points of CLV.
Trev, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they played earlier this year, and it was a 2-point game. NC State hasn't. Who was it? Louisville blew them out by 25, and then Wake Forest by 18. Other than that, actually California by 12, but that was their first game on the West Coast trip. Other than that, every game has been within 9 points this entire season in conference play here. So I like NC State. It's an in-state rivalry. North Carolina laying 10.5 is criminal. This does kind of give you the vibes of the Pitt Syracuse game today a little bit. But
Wait,
don't even get me started.
Wait.
Syracuse was covering 99.9% of that fucking game.
And
don't
Pitt
even
ended
get
up
me
covering,
started.
right, at the end?
No, they didn't cover. Of course not.
No, Pitt covered.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Pitt covered. Of
10.5.
course.
Yeah.
Such bullshit.
So I'm actually going to sprinkle split a half unit up on first half money line and full game money line also. This is the biggest game that NC State has left on their season, and the season's already cooked. So if they get up for a game, it's going to be this one. They did just win, so I think maybe they might build a little bit on this. And who the hell is UNC in the year of 2025 to lay 10.5 points to absolutely anybody? So, let's go NC State tomorrow. Wolfpack.
And just one other point to Trev's point about NC State playing a whole bunch of close games. That Cal game, I think, was tied with like 9 minutes to go. So it's not, again, it was another close game that they played. It was that first game on that West Coast road trip. I think their legs just gave out a little bit.
A couple things in the comments. Jen M says the Charlotte game got moved because of weather. Do you think that would be an issue for this game as well? How close is Charlotte to Chapel Hill? Anyone?
Within the vicinity. I think it's the same state.
Good answer. It's within the vicinity.
You guys know my geography's ass.
It's like a 2.5 hour train ride, 7 hour bus ride. So it depends on how they're.
You just looked that up just now?
I did.
That was fast.
Thank you.
Rodfather's in the comments as well. He's on North Carolina, and Rodfather says he votes this as the false sharp of the day. So not the fake false sharp. Let's move on to the next one. Cincinnati, West Virginia. Mountaineers laying 3.5 in Morgantown. I kind of want to take Cincinnati.
Take me home. Take me home.
That's not the words.
Oh, sorry.
Who butchers the words?
West Virginia now.
Like, because I know all those songs, right? I'm so good at that.
I mean, I assume if you started singing it that you probably knew it. Who doesn't know that John Denver song? Just butcher John Denver. All right, you're on West Virginia.
Denver's full of shit.
You're laying
Anybody
3.5.
get that one?
You're laying.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm laying 3.5. Are you kidding me? West Virginia at home off of a bad overtime loss to Baylor, and they had played a close game against BYU. I really like West Virginia tomorrow. Again, I've been kind of higher on this team. I know that they haven't looked great over the last couple months, but they've been much better at home. And again, I just feel like Cincinnati is not a good basketball team. And again, they cannot score the basketball. And I think that West Virginia matches up extremely well with them. So Cincinnati's a little bit bigger, but I don't really care. I think that the fact that West Virginia doesn't turn the ball over at all and they can force turnovers is a difference in this game being at home. So I already bet West Virginia.
What do you think, Trev?
I like Cincinnati in this one. West Virginia went to Cincinnati, beat them by 13 on their own home court. Immediately after Cincinnati, that prolific offense we'd seen all year, scoring 62 points a game, all of a sudden put up 93, 84, 85, and then 70 at Iowa State, lost by 11 there. But they figured it out offensively. West Virginia, back-to-back losses. Their 2 wins since January 21st are Cincy and Utah. And Utah was at home. They didn't have to go to Elevation for that. So they haven't played great. I think Cincy's really found something. They went to Hilton. It was a fairly tight game. They lost by 11. But I think you get in a revenge spot. Cincy playing much better as of late. They can actually score the ball. They're still playing defense. The defense isn't as locked down as it was. I'll give them that, but they're scoring buckets now. So I like Cincinnati in a revenge spot, hitting the road, getting this done. I think they probably went outright, but I'll take 3.5 with Cincy in this one.
A lot of people in the comments are taking Cincinnati here. Grabens is on Cincinnati. Juice says Bearcats. Seibert is on West Virginia. Bill Seibert. Easy West Virginia. Hunter Swifty West Virginia. So it's pretty split on this one. Shriek is on Cincinnati. I'll put up Cincinnati too. I don't know if I bet it though. I don't think I've bet Cincinnati since that I bet them that one time. They look like absolute shit. Who was that against? It was Arizona, I think, at the beginning of their hot streak, I think.
Arizona beat them by 50.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bet Cincinnati in that game, and that was before we knew Arizona was like the shit. And ever since then, Arizona's been on a warpath.
What a game!
I knew you guys would want to talk about this one. For some reason, Furman and Samford, college basketball people like those programs. So Furman, Samford. Samford is laying 7.5 points at home in this one, and for some reason, Furman has the Air Force logo in the top left.
I was gonna say this is an easy. Yeah, that was Air Force. I was gonna say this is an easy team total over.
So you guys, any looks in this one? Furman, Samford.
Go ahead, Trev, because I really want to take the points.
I kind of like Samford here. Samford, they did lose to Furman already, 2 points on the road. Now they'll be home. Samford's losses here are East Tennessee State, this Furman team, East Tennessee State, Chattanooga, Michigan State, Arizona, and then Cornell did catch them the second game of the year. So, I mean, they've lost to good teams. They haven't, had shaky spots here. I think at home, revenge spot. They've been on the road 2 of their last 3 games. Getting back home, they got Western Carolina on deck, which absolute not a look ahead. I think they come in focused and ready for this game. The Samford offense, that buckyball, they can really just start running it up on you at any point. So I think Samford gets it done. I think Furman comes in and just kind of falls flat here. I mean, they're already off of a UNCG loss. Now they're going to hit the road against a team they already beat, and they only put up 50 last game. So maybe they just followed up with another flat game. But I like the revenge angle for games 9 times out of 10. So I will back Samford at home.
I kind of want to take Furman. Everyone in the comments is taking Samford. We're polling on Samford.
Yeah, I just like the fact that Furman, I trust Furman offensively. I know Furman defensively is kind of a joke, but I feel like one thing that Samford does very, very well defensively is turn teams over, and they're not going to be able to do that against Furman. And I don't think they're going to have a whole huge rebounding advantage over Furman either. So I just feel like maybe Samford wins this game, that's for sure. But I just felt like 7.5 and 2+ possessions was just way too many for this game. I just see this game as a more closer game to me personally. And I also don't trust Samford shooting the 3 ball, so they're going to need that tonight or tomorrow.
Hey, respect to Jason Montana in the comments. He says, I'm here to publicly apologize to Toast on that Texas A&M game he had it spot on.
Yeah, it's all good. Dead clock's right twice a day.
Toast, a.k.a. the dead clock.
It felt very good to put a middle finger up to the world, though. I really wanted a 20-point victory just to shut everybody up, but it's all good.
Jackrabbits against Bison? Are they the Bison?
Yeah.
A little bit of a rivalry here. You guys, this is right in your neck of the woods, Trevor. You live out with the freaks out here in the Dakotas, right?
Yeah, they're pretty much my neighbors.
He said you live out there somewhere in the middle, right?
Somewhere out there. So this is in Trevor's neck of the woods. He knows the Dakotas like he knows the back of his hand. What do you like here, Trevor?
I like South Dakota State here to come home. Or no. Yeah. No,
South Dakota at home.
Yep. I like South Dakota State here. The 7.5 feels a bit crazy, but they did go to North Dakota State, won by 10. That's always a tough game to play. And they ran them out the gym by 10, which doesn't really happen much in this rivalry here. So I think the 7.5 feels a little baity for taking North Dakota State, given the revenge spot, and it's a rivalry game. So I feel like 7.5 is a lot of points here, and not to mention South Dakota. God, I keep these fucking teams confused. South Dakota State has been playing really, really good ball all year. They did lose to North Dakota, but Eagle staff will do that to you at times. So other than that, they haven't lost since January 16th. They've looked really, really good. They did just play a close game against South Dakota. So I don't think and they put up 94. So I don't think the offense will be the issue, but getting them at home, big spread. It's a rivalry game. It feels telling being so high. The last game was 2.5 and they won by 10. So maybe they did inflate it a little bit, but still 7.5 feels a tad high. So I like South Dakota State. I think they win by double digits again.
So South Dakota State minus 7.5, and this is coming from someone who lives in the vicinity.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I bet South Dakota at 7. For me, I agree with everything Trevor said, not to mention the fact that North Dakota State just played 322 Oral Roberts at home and 326 Denver at home. They won both those games. Both those games went to overtime, and now they got to go on the road and face a number 102 team in South Dakota State who's been playing really, really well and putting up a fucking 100 points a game. Yeah, I'll lay the 7.5. No question.
I'm not putting a pick up for this.
You're scared.
It's going to be a good game.
Sure. Next up, we got.
He said sure.
This is definitely a candidate for fake sharp play of the day.
Which side?
Iowa plus 1.5.
Oh, good.
That's so
Thank
fake.
God, 'cause I've already bet
sharp.
Oregon. Thank God I'm not the fake sharp today.
Yeah, Trevor's about to try to spin a story of why you should take Iowa. Oregon is 7 to 8
Oregon
points
plus
better
1.5.
than Iowa.
Guaranteed Trevor's on Iowa because I got
I
Oregon
know
plus
he is.
1.5.
He's
They're minus
always on the
1.5
fake
now. Go ahead, Trevor. Please take Iowa. Go ahead.
Man, Iowa just got fucking mollywopped, man, on the road at Maryland.
I watched.
I don't know. I'm so scared to take Iowa. I mean, it feels like it's got to be Oregon. I mean, Oregon's got size for down low. They got shooters. Iowa doesn't play any defense.
Oregon's got Wisconsin on deck. That's a huge game. Better take Iowa.
Well, they already know they already lost that game, so they need to catch a win here. Bad, but
they already lost that game. Oh my God.
I'll take Oregon team total over. I see a world where they can still hit a team total over, which is God, it's gonna be ridiculous. 70 or 80.5. Yeah, I'll take Oregon over 80.5. Iowa plays no defense whatsoever. But I know Oregon's offense is not amazing, but a team that plays pace doesn't have any rebounding advantage. Oregon State will be able to get their second chances and shoot the three. So I think Oregon puts up points. I think it's going to be like an 86 to like 79 kind of game. But I don't like taking the quote square side on these nasty, weird 1.5 spreads. Like weird shit does happen. So I will take Oregon's team total over. I think there's a world where they can still cover and Oregon can score points regardless of which side wins.
You said 80.5?
Yep, 80.5 on DraftKings.
Well, I mean, I think Iowa plus 1.5 would be the fake sharp play of the day.
Or Penn State.
Hold on. Let me get this team total up on the screen, and then I'm going to the comments, and I'm looking to see if anybody is taking Iowa here. If you're taking Oregon, you're probably going to be on the most public bet on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Juice is on the Ducks. Sports scientist Jacob, Ducks. Bill Seibert, Ducks. Actually, not many people throwing picks for this one. Someone says, I sure as fuck don't like Iowa. Someone just said Iowa's favored now. Is that true? No.
The line's been flipping. It's flipped back and forth. I got Oregon plus 1.5 minus 120. You can get Iowa plus 1.5 minus 115 now. So it's just a matter of where you're betting.
So it's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there like an injury or something? Like what the hell?
That's crazy.
I mean, you got Oregon, traveling across the country. I know that they've done it already, but they didn't look good the first time they did it. That's for sure. The last time they lost to Minnesota outright. And then what was the other one? Oh, yeah, they whooped up on – I guess it wasn't that bad. But, yeah, the last time they were out here, they didn't look that great. I don't know. Oh, it was the Michigan and Michigan State. They got –
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was.
We got Alabama catching here.
Call me square. I've already bet Alabama plus 1.5 as well.
Square.
Yeah. I loved Auburn when they played, and I love Alabama here tonight. Alabama has been very, very good off of a loss. They lost to Purdue earlier in the season, then went to a semi-home game with Illinois and put up 100. They lost to Oregon, went on the road to North Carolina. I know that doesn't look great now, but back in the beginning of December, it wasn't that. It was still an impressive loss. Regardless, they put up 94 against fucking North Carolina. They lose to Mississippi. They put up 102 against Kentucky in Kentucky. They lose to Auburn. I think they do they do the same thing here today against a Mizzou team that I really can't figure out if they're good or not. It seems like when they've played the upper echelon competition, they haven't really been great, all besides the Florida game. But if you're going to give me Alabama, who's actually been fantastic on the road this year, that's one thing I know from going in depth with that Auburn game. Alabama has been fantastic on the road this year. I will gladly take Alabama plus 1.5. I have a full unit on it.
Trev, could you find a way to get to Missouri?
Yeah, Missouri at home. They got Alabama coming in. Like this place is going to be rocking. Missouri's beaten some teams at the time. They beat Kansas at home.
Kansas is a juggernaut. You're right. My bad.
Well, Illinois is a juggernaut. They just got fucking housed at Wisconsin. Let's come on.
What did I say about Illinois?
You said after the loss, Alabama went and played Illinois, and they They got to win. Oh, wait, did they lose that game or win it?
No, they put up 100 on Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Badgers just put up 94. I mean,
without the officiating, probably they scored.
Oh, I was going to say that was a semi-home game.
game.
That was a neutral. They didn't have refs in their pocket. I mean, I get it, Sauce.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If you watch that game, you weren't impressed with Wisconsin.
Definitely not. Definitely.
They also, and then after they put up 100 on Illinois, they went on a neutral and beat Houston too. So, but anyway,
I could get into a contest with Wisconsin all day, but I digress. I digress here. I'll take Missouri. They're at home. They're playing better. I know Alabama just played that Auburn game and lost, but I don't think they play enough defense. Missouri's got enough offense and plays defense. They can force turnovers. They can rebound. I think Missouri, this is a huge get-up game. I mean, you got fucking Alabama coming in. This is on national television. I mean, the Tigers are going to be up and ready for this. Dennis Gates has flipped this around. I mean, he was a joke, and now this year they're getting wins. They're playing teams tough. They did lose to Auburn, but that was on the road. They didn't lose at home like Alabama did. And I think Missouri just gets up for this game and rocks them. So. Rock's a strong word. I was
going to say rocks them. Okay.
Yeah. I think this will be something like 88 to like 83 or something like that, somewhere around there. I think Missouri gets it done. It'll be tight back and forth, and Alabama will miss a shot. Missouri rebounds, and they get sent to the line, and that's how they win by a little bit of margin here. So I like Missouri here. Give me Tigers, and let's go.
As far as the comments, Juice says Mizzou. Heem says Alabama lock of the day. But that's the guy who just says he blindly fades toast. Now he's saying Alabama lock of the day.
Oh, what a shame.
Inconsistent there, Heem. Bob Clayton says Missouri 10-1 at home, but I like Bama. Roll Tide Roll says easy. How the fuck is Alabama not a favorite? Because they're going to lose. That's how. Rodfather, what's Rod say? Bet on Missouri.
Thing about Auburn.
Bet on Missouri on the money line versus good shooting teams. Teams that make 45% or more of their shots. Missouri's 9-1 this year in such spots. What is a full unit? A full unit is 1% of your bankroll. It looks like that's it. Someone says Vanderbosch's mustache is from Alabama.
Hey, it is what it is. People wish they could have this nice little stash going on.
Trev's from Wisconsin, but that mustache is from Alabama. All right, next up, St. John's. So does St. John's get back on the horse here? They're obviously going into the buzzsaw against a Blue Demons team that you know is going to come out with a spark.
Yeah, and St. John's in a little bit of a sandwich, but I guess not. I guess UConn's so bad right now, you can't even call it a sandwich spot anymore, can you?
I mean, yeah, they might get up for DePaul when they get up for
I was going to say, they might. I was going to be dead honest with you. I don't know. Trev can go. I wish I had the stones to bet DePaul here. There's no chance in hell that I do. But yeah, you might as well just put up St. John's for me because I'm not betting DePaul.
What's this? 12.5. I'll take a DePaul team total under if I had to play anything. We've seen what St. John's does defensively. I mean, they lock you down, they force turnovers, and especially if they start going on that stretch where they don't score for 4 or 5 minutes, their defense hits another level. And I don't know if you saw that clip of Patino motherfucking him in the locker room.
Your whole life is adversity. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. I was ready to run through a fucking brick wall.
Me too.
This team, they'll get motherfucked at some point when they give up like a 6-0 run to DePaul when they can't score, and then DePaul won't score for 8 minutes. So I like the DePaul team total under. This is going to be they're gonna sniff 60 maybe. They'll pull up like 58.
DePaul team total under. Let me get it up on the screen.
It's 66.5. Damn, I might just play
Doesn't that feel a little high actually?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No. I'm sorry. Wait.
You might not be wrong. I don't know. I don't know it. That's why I was saying.
I'm going to look it up because I just did the math and I might have butchered that math. I just did a quick total math and I think I might have messed it up. 143.5, 12.5 point favorite. That should be 65.
No, 65.5. It's 65.5, but I mean same difference. Yeah.
So all right, I like 65.5 better than 66.
You should like 66 better.
No, if it was I don't know. If it's higher, it feels baity to take the under. But if it was 63, something like that, 62, I'd love it.
What kind of crazy ass?
No, Trevor,
didn't-
you don't have to explain. I know because there's
All
lines
right.
in that in baseball that I feel the exact same way.
All right.
And it's also nonsensical when you say it.
Hey, you say the same thing about the kicking market too.
So
Some
what I'm
people just
taking in
don't get
this
it.
one is DePaul team total over. I'm going DePaul team total. I just think we're going to see points here from the Blue Demons. I actually might bet this now because I just thought it was disrespectful, Trevor. All right, next up.
Let's go Minnesota.
They covering?
They're down 1 with 1:31 left.
What's the score though?
58-59.
Oh yeah, we're good. All right, cool.
What, you took an under?
Don't worry about it. I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, we're just on a betting show where we're sharing our picks. Don't worry about it.
It was a live bet. I got a little cocky. I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
All right. No need to
I got
talk about it.
Gonzaga on deck. We got Gonzaga on deck. Let's talk some basketball.
This is an interesting spot for Toast because he's a Gonzaga fan, but
This
his
isn't
family,
interesting.
Toast's parents, live in the Washington area, and they're season ticket holders in Pullman. So
They're also season ticket holders in Gonzaga too.
wow.
Tough
So
spot.
All his life in that family.
And my favorite number in the world is 13. How funny is that? I have the
I don't know.
13 tattooed on my back.
I don't think that's particularly funny. Who would they be
Well, when
rooting
you put
for
all
here?
of them together,
Who would they be rooting for here?
my parents, my mother probably Gonzaga. My dad has tried to sell his season tickets with Gonzaga, so he'd probably be at Washington State.
He's sick of that defense too.
He's so pissed off right now. It's not even funny. Oh man, my mom said, "You guys will come back around when they start winning again."
So
And then I said, "Mom, they just gave up." I think that was the Pacific game, or yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was the Pepperdine game. That was after the UCLA. They'll be better, and I said, "Mom," and then the next game, I said, "Mom, they just gave up 82 to Pepperdine on the road. This team is terrible.
you got
You can't lay points. You can't lay points to Gonzaga. Point blank. Period. Very simple. So
you got to take the 13. This is a rivalry game.
I'm not even saying that as a funny thing. I'm dead serious too.
You taking Washington State, Trev?
Yeah, I kind of like Wazoo 13. I like that over 75.5 team total. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Fade Gonzaga's defense, especially on the road.
Be careful.
The
you don't want
Watts-
Straker or Toast on the show.
Sorry. Hey, Toast, plug your ears real quick.
Toast won all of his bets with Gonzaga the last 3 times. All good.
Hey, as long as everyone goes, I'm happy. That works for me. But Gonzaga gives up points. Washington State, the Watts brothers and Nate Kalmus, they should be able to get buckets on this defense. I mean, Gonzaga on the road, they don't play lockdown defense the way it is. I like them, Washington State, to cover here or score. And if they're going to go over that team total, I have to imagine they're going to cover that 13. Like, that's a big number. And this place is probably going to get as lit as it can, especially with Gonzaga coming in. I'm not saying it's going to be packed. I said as lit as it can. So, I mean, there'll probably be an extra 55 people in the building for this game.
Thank you.
Is Pullman going to be jumping for this one, Toast?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe you have some people make the short drive, but I don't know. Again, not only do you can't lay points with this Gonzaga team, especially at 13. Who do they play next, Trevor? Gonzaga?
Gonzaga?
Mm-hmm. Big game or little game?
Big game.
Big game or little
What's
game?
that?
They've got a scheduled loss on deck with St. Mary's.
Okay, so plus Trevor's drunk, but Washington State plus 13 for me.
A couple people in the comments like the under here. Juice is on the under. Rodfather's on the under. Bill Seibert's taking the 13 points. Anyone else sharing?
What's the total?
My thing says 163.5.
That's a lot of points.
Apparently, Minnesota just took the lead, according to somebody in the comments.
60-59.
All right, let's move on to. We got 2 games. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 games left.
What an absolute melt by UCLA.
Dude, it was 29
Why
to
didn't
11.
I bet that too? I liked Minnesota.
I know,
bet it.
dude, and you've been betting Minnesota too.
I know,
It's
I
like you
know.
talked yourself out of it.
And I could have used a freaking win tonight. I got crushed tonight. Speaking of big dogs, they're about to win. Miami's about to win this one in Tallahassee.
Oh, God.
Florida State is
Dude.
not good.
Dude, not only is
Miami
Florida
is?
State. Go ahead, Trevor.
Sorry, no. Go.
I was just going to say, not only is Florida State not good and they shouldn't be laying essentially 9 points, but I mean, shoot me, but Miami's starting to play somewhat competent basketball over the last 4 games. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Syracuse. They only lost by 10 to Louisville. Everybody loses by 15 plus to Louisville. They had a 9-point stinker to Pittsburgh. But again, in what world is Florida State a 9-point favorite to anybody? I get Miami's been really, really bad. But at the same time, they haven't looked as bad as they have the last month and a half, 2 months over the last 2 weeks. So it would be Miami or pass for me. I don't know if I actually bet it. I'm curious to see if this line moves or how it moves. But there's no way in hell I'd be laying this many points with Florida State.
I might put a half unit on this money line here. Canes are winning. Jump on board, Trev.
Nope. System play. Miami's playing. We fade them. Give me Florida State. Florida State's got the size, the athleticism. They just got absolutely embarrassed at home against Clemson. So they're going to show up, and this is easy prey. The Hurricanes are trash. Congratulations on beating Syracuse and Notre Dame, but that shit was sweet.
That's 2 teams I would put on Florida State's level.
Oh God, no! Florida State's playing good. They got to get these games, these last 3 games at home for coach. And I believe no. The last Saturday, the last game of the season is the honoring of the coach. But system play. Give me FSU. Hey man, system play of fading Green Bay.
I agree with you. I know that you've been fading Miami. I don't worry about that. Yeah. I was just saying that I don't think that Notre Dame and Florida State.
Yeah, what the hell was that? We're just gonna not talk about that. Florida State's on the same level as those teams you just named.
No, not as of late. I think Florida State's playing a lot better. They just ran into a buzzsaw with Clemson, which.
Go ahead.
They got the shit beat out of them, dude.
Yeah, they did, and I'm willing to go back. People are sold on them again. People are sold on them again. They're like, this team's back to trash.
They're laying
a big number too.
Points.
Exactly. It's telling you, man. It's telling you. Double digits. Let's go.
Double digits.
I'm betting this. I'm betting this freaking one. We got 2 games left. System play.
He has been doing it all year.
Yeah, them and Buffalo is free to fading. Buffalo is free tonight too. That shit was never a doubt.
We got another scorcher here.
Or something? Yeah.
Central Florida on the road against Oklahoma State. I'm assuming we don't want to spend a lot of time breaking this one down. It's a bad game.
It is a bad game. Sooner or later, UCF's going to win a game, though. So that's all I got to say. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So.
Central Florida's playing. Just hold your breath and take the over.
How's that worked out the last couple games?
I haven't done it once. It's more of just like
I was going to say probably not well. When they lose, they do give up points in the past, but it hasn't been like the last 2 games. I don't know. I kind of thought this Oklahoma State team would have a little bit more fight in them after that TCU 1-point loss. They got beat by like 40 by Texas Tech. So they have won their last 2. They did win their previous 2 home games before that. But the Utah win, we all know they're terrible. Colorado's terrible. They also beat them at home. And then the Arizona State win. I think Arizona State Hurley had to drive his kids to the arena so they could play because they were down so many players. So it's really hard to put too much into that win. So I lean UCF, but there's no chance in hell I bet it.
Trev?
Give me Oklahoma State. They beat Utah. They played Houston tough. They beat Arizona State. Granted, like you said, Arizona State was down players. Hurley's kid actually had to play for once, and it wasn't in garbage.
Did he really? I was making a joke. I didn't even know that. That's funny.
Yeah, no. Hurley's kid played.
Oh my God!
15 minutes.
109 offensive rating. This kid's a fucking G.
Yeah, he was 100% from the floor, 2 from the line.
Bobby Hurley Jr.
Yeah.
He plays for Oklahoma State.
Arizona State. He's the next psycho.
Why are we talking about him?
Yeah, we were just talking about the other game. But anyway, Oklahoma State's been playing better, and they just got a house by Texas Tech, like 40 piece. They're gonna bounce back. They're gonna respond. UCF plays no defense. If you let Colorado win a game, you're bad. Like they've hit the wall, and they're flat on their face right now. So I like Oklahoma State. They're laying points for a reason. I think a lot of people, Kashawn Hall's really good, but I'm pretty sure he had a nasty fall last game. So we'll see what happens with him if he plays or not. But I like the Cowboys up here. They're playing better. I think they're playing tough for Lutz here to end the season, and UCF plays no defense whatsoever. Oklahoma State does have the ability to. So I think after getting embarrassed by Texas Tech, they show up strong tomorrow.
Bill Seibert is taking Central Florida money line N plus 1.5. Sports scientist Jacob is on the under. Juice is on the pokes. Moffitt's on the pokes. Grabenz is on the pokes. Kind of split. Final game. Hogs in the jungle. Can the Hogs fare well in the jungle here? We saw them go, interrupt, make some noise. This is not a team that's scared to be in a hostile environment. This is not a head coach that's scared of a hostile environment. Are you eyeing up the money line, Trev?
Okay, well let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
I was gonna say, there's no way Trevor just goes on without saying something.
Yeah, I like Arkansas in this one. They failed at Alabama. They had the chance to win, and then Texas A&M game they also covered by the hooks. So I mean, they regardless, it may not be pretty, but they've been covered ever since that Kentucky game and Auburn coming off of Alabama. I know they don't have a look ahead, but they hit everything. They hit fucking everything. But what I hate about when I fade or take the other side against Auburn, they make every fucking shot when they need to, and then they cover the damn game by like a bucket. It's so annoying. I will still pick Arkansas here. I get Auburn at home is a monster, but I think, after the last game, I don't know if they'll win by 16. I mean, I see them winning by like 13 or something, 14. Where it's Auburn or Arkansas is right there at the end, and they find a way to cover. It's not going to be pretty whatsoever. It's going to actually be fucking terrible. But I do like Arkansas here. I think everyone's going to be buying in on Auburn.
Someone said in the comments that Trev is a known hog lover.
Oh, come on, guys. That's God damn it. God damn it.
Trev is heavy on the hogs. Toast.
Welcome to the jungle. There's no question. Will not be betting Arkansas. Don't know if I bet
16
Auburn.
and a half?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. They beat Oklahoma by 18. They beat Tennessee by 2 at home. They beat Mississippi State by 20 at home. They beat Missouri by 20 at home. They beat, I'm not going to keep on going through it. And they lost their last home game. So I understand they're coming off the Auburn or the Alabama win. But again, Auburn's been treating me just fine. There's no way I'm going to step in front of them at home, even though they're off the Alabama game. They lost their last home game. I think they destroy Arkansas in the jungle tomorrow.
The Hogs
I'm not going to bet it. I'm not betting it. I'm just saying that's
what about an over? The Hogs can soar. We saw Florida have no problems putting up points on the road in Auburn. Over? No one's saying anything.
I think comparing Florida and Arkansas.
I was gonna say, you're going from seeing the A&M plays defense, but LSU, Alabama, Texas, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, none of those teams play defense like Auburn does. It's not even. Yeah. Again, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. That is the last game. See you guys all at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Pump Fake Pod. They've been doing their show at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time, so before this one. But I'll put the link in Friday night before they do their big Saturday show again. So, see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing the league standings in a minute. I also have an NBA video coming out later. There's one game. It's Lakers Hornets, and the line's 13.5, and each team has 4 key questionables. It's not going to be the most detailed video. But I do have an NBA video coming out later. Everyone have a good night. Did they win?
Yeah, UCLA just got an offensive foul with 1.7 left now.
Final. What's the score though?
62-61.
Oh, beautiful. All right, let's go.
Minnesota.
Talk to you guys later.